Welcome to Cheat Sheet Tales, where secrets slip, lies unravel, and the truth always has a twist. Real stories, raw confessions, and shocking betrayals. Drop a comment if you've ever caught a red flag too late. Now let's get into today's tale. Season you. You're cold to your wife and kids. You don't pay your bills. You go out every night and you don't care when your kid is in the hospital. The cheating. It's game over. Ryan's face instantly turned pale at her damning words. He anticipated his defensive reaction, but it didn't alter my decision. No, she's just for fun, you know? You're the only one I love. Just stop here, Ryan pleaded. I filled out the divorce form. Richard, I suggested. Even if you tear it up, I've got plenty of space. In fact, why don't I just call a lawyer? For alimony and child support, it might be better. A sudden change came over Ryan. Ash shriveled up and stuttered. I don't want a divorce. Why not? I took a deep breath, preparing to say what needed. Toby said. Because, I began, you can spend your money as you like, play around with, young women have children to take care of you and enjoy life while I do all the dirty housework. A wife at home for security, and a girlfriend for fun. What a great life. But if you divorce me, that all disappears. Ryan's mouth hung open, and he seemed to lose his voice. I continued. Wasn't it your perfect life plan? Now it's ruined. You can make a new life plan with Brielle or whoever you like, but my son and I will not be part of it. Just pretend. You died and have a new life. After saying everything I wanted to, I turned to leave the hospital room. Ryan pleaded, Wait. In apathetic voice, but I kept walking. In the coming days, I initiated divorce proceedings and hired a lawyer. The discussions included Brielle, who was discharged from the hospital. When Ryan claimed he had no intention of divorcing, Brielle became furious, resulting in a heated argument. Ryan resisted signing the papers, claiming I had ruined his life. Despite their conflicts, the divorce became official, and I received almost all the alimony payment I sought. After the discussions, my lawyer and I left the room, leaving Ryan and Brielle still arguing. I wondered about the fate of their relationship, but my apathy prevailed. I told them, I hope you have a lovely life together, before leaving the room, possibly being petty. Despite everything, Noah and I had returned to a peaceful life, free from Ryan's mood swings. Regret lingered about not divorcing, earlier realizing Ryan's attitude had caused my son pain. Living with just the two of us, I understood that we were perfectly fine without Ryan in fact, every day became a joy. Despite this, I acknowledged Ryan as Noah's father, allowing him access if he wanted to see him. Surprisingly, Noah showed no interest. After the divorce, I sent Ryan an email confirming alimony and child support payments. His reply was laughable. He recounted his misfortune, stressed from gossip at work, mistakes leading to job loss, and his parents cutting him off. I replied, suggesting he seek help from Brielle. Ryan claimed they broke up, and he continued to send desperate messages. I eventually blocked him. As I placed my phone on the table sipping tea, Noah approached, asking, What should we do on our day off tomorrow, won't he? After a moment's thought, I suggested, How about we grab some lunch and go to the aquarium? Noah's face lit up with joy, expressing excitement about the dolphin show. Witnessing his enthusiasm, I couldn't help but smile, feeling content with our peaceful and happy life. I'm Elena, a 41-year-old homemaker. My husband, Ryan, and I first crossed paths at work, eventually tying the knot after 5 years. Our joy was complete with the arrival of our son, Noah, now an adorable 5-year-old, while I'd love to spend every moment with him. Our financial constraints necessitate my working and leaving Noah at a daycare center. Noah, being understanding, often makes simple requests like wanting an omelet tomorrow. His innocence makes it easy to comply, although I secretly suspect it's because my culinary skills don't extend far beyond basic dishes. Despite my excuses, I can't deny the challenge of crafting a perfect omelet. The early years with Noah were blissful, with our family outings and weekend drives creating cherished memories. However, things started changing when Noah turned 3. Ryan, once elated by Noah's presence, began coming home late, citing frustration with Noah's occasional fussiness as the reason Ryan's late arrivals became more frequent, often extending into the early morning hours. His excuses seemed flimsy, and the scent of sweet perfume on his suit raised suspicions. Though bothered, I chose to ignore it, prioritizing Ryan's role as adolescent father when Noah was at his best. Fast forward 2 years, and Noah has grown into a lively 5-year-old. His vitality contrasts sharply with Ryan's deteriorating attitude. Ryan's impatience surfaces even for trivial matters like a spilled cup of tea. Attempts to address Noah's behavior result in Ryan snapping and refusing to engage with him. Conversations with Ryan have become strained. His dismissive attitude toward family time and insistence on eating out instead of my cooking add to the tension. Suggestions for outings on his days off are met with resistance as Ryan prioritizes rest over quality time together. It's disheartening to witness Ryan's persistent irritability seemingly stuck in a perpetual fussy face. Despite me attempts to bridge the communication gap, our exchanges have devolved into arguments, leaving me to wonder if Ryan will ever outgrow this phase at 40 years old. I once confronted him about his perpetual anger, asking why he was always so furious. As expected, he responded with his usual eye claiming, "It's because you're useless. Obviously you're passing that on to Noah. I wish he turned out more like me." It was a hurtful statement insinuating that all of Noah's positive traits were inherited from him, while any negative qualities came from. I found it hard to believe his audacity. My frustration with Ryan escalated with his words and actions, causing me considerable emotional pain. Thoughts of divorce crossed my mind, as she seemed one step away from ending our marriage due to his behavior and lack of respect for our family. Despite it all, I stayed holding on to the love I still had for my husband. Even though Noah was scared of Ryan, he clung to a semblance of affection for his father. Living with a husband who was perpetually in a bad mood wore me down, but I lacked the courage to break up our family. Then one day Ryan brought up the topic of a trip with some colleagues from work. These colleagues were the ones he was close to, the ones reveling in their single lies. He casually informed me of his decision to join them on the trip. I questioned the rationale behind his sudden desire for a getaway. Ryan expressed his frustration, claiming he had been patient for too long, sacrificing all his time for the family. According to him, I spent all the money he earned on useless luxuries. I retorted that I was not indulging in luxuries and, in fact, contributed more to our family than he did. The harder I worked, the more money I made. But Ryan seemed to put less and less into our family. His trip financed by our shared resources infuriated me. He declared, "I'm going away for a week from tomorrow. Whether you like it or not, don't complain." I was taken aback by the abruptness of his decision and felt my anger simmering. Before I could respond, Noah, who was supposed to be asleep, woke up panicked. I rushed to tend to him, apologizing for the disturbance, as I tried to put Noah back to sleep. I sensed something was wrong. His body felt hot, and he complained of a headache. In an instant, his eyes rolled up and he collapsed. Frantically, I called for an ambulance. Ryan, who I assumed would accompany us, refused to come along. Despite my frustration, I had no choice but to board the ambulance alone. Thankfully, the test results indicated a non-serious illness, but Noah was admitted for further tests. I called Ryan to provide updates, balancing the urgency of the situation with the need to keep him informed. "What do you want?" I could sense his extreme annoyance, but with no time to worry about it. I quickly explained the situation and urgently asked him to bring a change of clothes for Noah's hospital stay. "Are you joking?" was his incredulous response. "I can't make it. I don't want to be late for tomorrow's trip. So I'm staying at my colleague's tonight. Are you serious? Your son is in the hospital, and you're still going on a trip," I exclaimed, hoping for some understanding. "Of course I am. She doesn't need me there. For a simple checkup. Noah is suffering from a high fever. So there's nothing I can do, he callously replied. Yes, there is. I asked Uto before I could finish. He abruptly hung up. I tried calling again, but it went straight to voicemail. Frustration and anger surged. Through me, I didn't have his colleague's phone number to reach out for assistance. In the end, I called my parents and sought their help, feeling betrayed by Ryan's callous abandonment of his son in the hospital. 2 strikes against him, and I could sense the 3rd strike looming. 3 days later, Noah's tests were over, and he was back to his usual energetic self. The results showed no problems, and he would be discharged from the hospital the next day. Planning to buy some pudding for him, I picked up my phone to check messages, and that's when it happened. It vibrated with an incoming call from a former colleague, Elena. Where are you? Tessa's voice sounded panicked. I'm at the hospital. Never mind that. It's an emergency. I replied, thinking it was related to Noah. Apparently your husband died in an accident. I couldn't comprehend her words. What, this is a joke, right? But her voice on the other end persisted. In a panic, I ran out. The shocking fact that my husband had passed away was hard to grasp. My colleague continued, with more unsettling details. Ryan was on a trip alone with a woman, and she had driven into oncoming traffic, colliding with a tree. There had to be a misunderstanding. Ryan was supposed to be with his male colleagues. The thought that he could have been killed in a car accident with a woman seemed impossible. In a frenzy, I called my parents and urgently asked them to look after Noah, feeling overwhelmed by the sudden turn of events. In a state of panic, I rushed to the hospital where my husband was admitted. Amid my frantic thoughts, I couldn't help but wonder why they had called the company before reaching out to me. Nevertheless, it seemed like the situation was not a fabrication, so I hastened to verify the details. According to my former colleague, the men who were supposed to be with my husband were safe. Unsurprisingly, they were not together. Ryan hadn't even bothered briefing them about his fabricated alibi. He was with another woman. 3 strikes. 3 strikes. And it seemed Ryan's actions had caught up with him. Doubts lingered about whether he had actually died, and I needed to confirm the truth. As I entered the hospital room, a rattle echoed. To my surprise, there was only one person in the room. Undoubtedly, Ryan. Bandages wrapped around his hands and feet looked painful, but the rise and fall of his chest indicated he was breathing. Tessa's information about his demise was incorrect. Ryan was alive. You're alive? I murmured, moving closer. Examining his slightly open eyes, he seemed a bit shaken. Maybe he hadn't anticipated the company contacting me so promptly. In his usual grumpy tone, Ryan spat out. Took you long enough. Your husband's been in an accident, and it takes you ages to get here, you useless. Peace off. Well, good to see he's still his usual self, I interjected, noting his battered appearance. It appeared he had only broken his left hand and right leg despite the wrecked rental car. I'm glad. You're okay, I told him to, which he replied. You better take good care of me, huh? He seemed Ryanably fine. As I handed him a sheet of paper, I explained. When I say I'm glad you're okay, I'm talking about your right hand. If you had broken your right hand, you wouldn't be able to hold a pen to sign this. Perplexed, Ryan unfolded the paper and I revealed divorce papers. Yes, I was preparing it, which is why I got here late. I know you're injured, so I'll just leave it here. Make sure you sign it. Are you joking? Why would I sign this? Ryan protested. Wow. You told your girlfriend. You were getting a divorce, didn't you? The reason you came home late every night was because you were with her. Waste this trip, a prenuptial trip too good for you. Now you can marry your sweet Brielle. How do you even know her name? Ryan questioned. Because I spoke to her, obviously. In fact, before coming to your hospital room, I stopped by the woman's room. She was also in the same hospital. I asked for the woman who was in a car accident and immediately found her. Despite her injuries, she seemed better off. Than you. Her parents were in the hospital room too. I asked her to tell me everything I explained, recounting my encounter with the woman. With her parents questioning her, she glared at me and said, "Let go. I don't know what she..."